Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel True Divine 44 or my Facebook page True Divine 44. Like, share, subscribes and comments on either or both of those platforms is greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who's doing that thus far. Mwah. Really appreciative of all the help I'm getting, so thank you. I put out as much free content as I can, mainly via tarot, to help support, guide and inspire those who want to be supported, guided and inspired. Because it's general content that I put out, I'm picking up on general energies, whether it be for the daily energy reads or the general monthly reads for each sign. I pick up on the collective energies and translate those via tarot. So where they're pretty accurate for a lot of people, they can't be accurate for everybody every time. So it's up to you to be discerning, take what resonates, take what helps you, and leave the rest behind for somebody else to pick up on. Today is a daily energy read, so I've picked up on the energies around me, spent some time with the cards, translated the energies via tarot for you. So it's the 24th of April 2020, and the first card is the Eight of Swords. You know, the situation that we've had thrust upon us has had enormous dividends, enormous benefits, enormous blessings in a lot of different ways. But we've had to look for them, we've had to seek them out, we've had to flip the script and turn things on their head and see them a different way in order to see these blessings, feel these blessings, and realize the importance of the lessons we've been learning. And for some, it's easier to do that than others. A lot of people in this situation, in exactly the same situation as the people who have been able to dig out those blessings, to dig out those lessons that are good, to dig out the joy within this situation. It's very different for another section of society that right now have been so stuck in indoctrination and in control, and in the wish to just carry on as normal, just keep breathing and carry on as normal. For them, this has been a much tougher situation. For them, it's been either a shock to the system because the contradictions, the lies, the out and out ridiculousness of mainstream media stories has woken them up, so to speak. I know people don't like that, but you know, it's zapped them awake to say that this isn't right. I don't know what's not right, but something's not right. It's almost like a heartbreak for them because everything has hit at once, where the first section of people have gradually grown to learn how to research, to learn how to be discerning regarding stories, regarding what's going on, regarding prosecutions, politics. And it's been a slow build-up of learning along the way, layer by layer, getting better and better at it in various different ways. Whereas these people, this section of people who are in exactly the same situation as other people, they're finding it a little bit more difficult because it's like that boom and it's there. All of a sudden they're unpicking years and years worth of conspiracy, years and years worth of people proving that things aren't what they seem, and it's a lot to take on. Some people will get really excited about that, and some people will get fired up about it, and they'll be sharing every contradiction that they possibly can. They'll be wanting to shake people awake by their neck. Other people feel sorrow. Other people want to rewind, even knowing that things aren't as they should be and aren't as they seem. They would still prefer to rewind and go back and just put their head in the sand again and just keep breathing, just keep working, just keep breathing. Everything back to normal, please. They have this Eight of Swords, this fear of the future, this unexplainable, overwhelming fear of, if the future isn't absolutely on a to-do list, predetermined, you know, go to school, get married, buy a house, have kids, make them go to school. If it's not that to-do list, there's this fear of the unknown, fear of the future with this Eight of Swords. These thoughts that are cyclical, going round and round in their heads, building up and building up, never reaching out of those thoughts to look for a solution, to try and grow from those thoughts, just going round and round and round in circles with those thoughts. So there's a section of society that is in this Eight of Swords where they are so fearful of the future, they're almost, it's as if somebody's zapped them with a pen and they can't move. They're literally from inside begging for the Men in Black pen zapper thing to take all memory away of this and just go back as normal. It's okay if somebody's stealing here and there and lying here and there and hurting children here and there. That's okay, just as long as my life goes back to little boxes on the hillside. There's nothing you can do if somebody is in your life that is like this and they are up a height. It's manifesting in the fact that they're being snappy, that they're being rude, that they're being fearful and anxious. That can be very hard to live alongside at the best of times. When we're under these current control circumstances and isolation is a thing, it's even harder. So it strains that relationship. And I know many of you are feeling like you want to shake this person awake, shock them awake, love them awake, whatever them awake, as long as they can just start to face facts and move forward with you. There's nothing you can do to speed up that process. There's nothing you can actually do to make that process happen at all. It's only up to the person who is in the Eight of Swords feeling to support themselves initially, to start moving away from those cyclical thoughts, moving away from those circular thoughts that are just continuing to go round. They're the only ones that can break out of this mental internal prison. And that could be very frustrating for you, watching a loved one be like that. And it's very difficult at first, and it's something that comes with growth, to have the wisdom to know that you cannot control how somebody else thinks or how somebody else acts. You cannot control what somebody else will believe or won't believe. You can only control your own actions, your own experiences, your own reactions to things. So on the other side of the spectrum, I feel many people, like I've just explained, trapped in this fear of the future. On the other side is the Eight of Swords within the people who I've just been talking about, who are maybe living alongside or love somebody who is in this fear of the future Eight of Swords energy. And to be honest, your feeling is that you're still in the Eight of Swords also. This situation that's been thrust upon us has brought a lot up. It's bringing it up to the surface. It's a purging, it's a cleansing, and that's one of the blessings of this situation if you use it as such. That it brings up the things in your life that aren't working, that don't serve you, that don't feed and nourish you. And it might be that you're looking at this person and feeling a sense of responsibility, that you're feeling a sense of that their existence depends upon you being there, and you being there always. And for you, that brings a fear of the future. For you, that brings an Eight of Swords trapped feeling. Because this situation, like I say, has highlighted a lot of things that we need to change, that we need to shed, that we need to move away from. And I feel for that side of the spectrum, for this Eight of Swords energy, there is a lot of people fearing of how you'll go forward with this person after this is all said and done. Because the path is separated between the two of you, and it's separated between the two of you in a vast way, in a quick, big way. Because where on your side of the spectrum, you're wanting to dig deeper. You're wanting to learn about self, learn about what's really going on, learn about the potentials of the future and what we could really innovate and what we could really bring around from this, you know, how we could use this to our advantage as the collective and as individuals. But at the same time, you're with the wrong people. You're with the wrong person. It doesn't match, it doesn't tally, it doesn't balance. So the fear of the future for you comes in as to, how do I go about this? How do I go about leaving this person who I feel so responsible for, who I feel a lot of pressure to sustain, to maintain? They're more fearful than me, they're more anxious than me, they're weaker than me. All of those things going through your head. In doing so, you're making up your own mental prison. You're making up your own falsehoods. You're making up your own you're trapping yourself. Because where we should look after one another, where we should be compassionate and nurture one another and inspire one another, stand shoulder to shoulder with one another, our life isn't and shouldn't be given to anything or anyone that does not balance us out, that does not serve us. And I don't mean serve in a yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. I mean serve as in nourish your soul, nourish your heart, give and take. And it's for you to recognize that and recognize that you don't have the responsibility to make it that any other adult that isn't vulnerable is sustained by you, maintained by you, held up by you. Because the people I'm reading for today, if this resonates, it's all take, take, take. There isn't too much giving. Now, that doesn't say that you're a victim. If you're on the other side of the spectrum, trying to be positive about the future, trying to look at self during this situation, no. Actually, you're just as much a perpetrator in a way. And this might be a bit controversial, but you know, if you stick with it, if you decide to stick with something that you know in your mind isn't right, you know doesn't serve either of you really, you know isn't full of reciprocity and gratitude and love, respect, then you're not a victim. You're 50-50 in this. You're just like this person isn't brave enough to look at the future and look at the truths and dig for themselves and look at self and see what they can get accomplished during this time. Then your fear of the future is no different. Your fear of leaving this group of people or this person or this job or whatever it is, your fear is no different. And your fear is no more valid than theirs. Because it's a mental block. It's a label, it's a responsibility that somewhere along the line you allowed to be put on your head. Somewhere along the line you stop being honest. So it's a lot for a lot of people to think about, but it sounds heavy. I know it sounds heavy and I'm sorry about that. But I'm sorry not sorry, because this situation has brought up for me, for you, for everyone around, it's brought up deep wounds. It's brought up things that we thought we'd gotten over. It's brought up new things, new challenges. But in doing so, it's given us every opportunity to clear the shit out, to have a complete and utter spring clean of our inner self. In doing that, we automatically have a spring clean of our 3D self and everything that's around us, because everything reflects in and out. So by balancing the inner self, by doing the inner work, the 3D life just sort of magically rearranges. But in doing so, it will bring things up. It will show you the physical manifestation of what you need to shed, of what isn't balancing out anymore, of what isn't right, what isn't serving you anymore. So don't be a victim, don't be a martyr, and please, please don't be fearful of the future. The future is whatever you're going to make it to be. So I know that's pretty heavy and a bit controversial, but it is what it is. The cards they are what they are. The second card, being the divine feminine, beautiful high priestess. You know, this is deep spiritual knowledge, full of wisdom, deep wisdom, nurturing, kind, compassionate. But the high priestess for me can be quite, by most people's standards, would be described as quite lethal as well, because the high priestess, in all of the situations that I've just been speaking about with this 8 of Swords in the first card, the high priestess is that stepping stone between imagination and assimilation of such. And so she doesn't want her children to be limited at all by circumstance, by relationship, by job. But that just seems so menial to her. So for her to step in here, she would be quite a strict, quite a harsh energy to say, no, why do you feel responsible for that person? Or if you're on the other end of the spectrum, why are you so afraid of the future? Why are you so afraid to have control over self, have self-control, have self-determination? Why are you so afraid of taking the responsibility of self on? And that's what this divine feminine is saying to you today. So you might feel quite challenged today. You might feel like there's that mother energy in your life that just keeps putting things in your face to say, this isn't working, this isn't right, this wasn't your plan, this isn't your path. And arguments with this 8 of Swords, you know, might ensue. The challenges might ensue, in that people might you might feel like people are coming at you from all ends and sides, and they might be. But that is just the physical manifestation, the assimilation of what you're imagining. You're imagining you being stuck in the wrong position, in the wrong relationship, because you're not taking any steps to move forward with the future because you're so afraid of the future. So it's this divine feminine that comes in, and it's the divine mother that knows when to let go of the bike. Even though the child's saying, don't let go, she lets go of the bike, because she knows the little child is ready to fly. And if she keeps holding on to that bike, that's no kindness, that's not compassionate, it's not nurturing, it's not allowing for growth. So she lets go of the bike. And yes, there might be a few bruised knees during the letting go, the various letting goes of that bike. There might be a few falls. There might be a few cries from that child saying, why did you let go? I told you not to let go. Promise you won't let go this time. And the mother lets go again. So if you find yourself in a situation with a partner, business partner, lover, mainly lover, not much love going on here though. If you find yourself in a situation where things are being brought to your attention regarding your the manifestation of your world, your 3D world, with regard friends coming to you saying, you know, you need to get this shit together, this is reflecting badly on you now, or these arguments, that the same old arguments keep stirring up today, and you keep getting challenged. Well, that's the divine feminine. Knowing that you're not listening to that inner self, knowing that you're not listening to your true higher self. So You manifest for yourself the very prison, in mental prison that you have. You manifest that in your 3D world, and it's going to keep coming at you until you realize that this isn't right. But if you let go of that fear of the future now and just delve into the deep knowledge, the deep wisdom, the nurturing of this divine feminine high priestess energy, and let your imagination run wild. Don't limit yourself. Don't allow those labels to hold you back and chain you down. Like magic, all of those arguments, all of those challenges dissolve just like that, because they don't belong anymore. There's no need for them anymore. You're not calling them in anymore because you don't need to learn it anymore. You've learned that lesson. Let go of that fear of the future, and let go of those and that does not serve you. And think big. Let your imagination go wild. Swim in this divine feminine energy. Let it take you to all of the places that you're capable of going to in your imagination, and therefore capable of manifesting in your future. Birth something new into your life today. The third card being another 8. So we've got this reading bookended with 8, starting with the 8 of Swords into the 8 of Cups, which is beautiful because it means you're listening. You're listening to this inner calling, this divine feminine wisdom, this intuitive divine feminine energy. Because in this 8 of Cups, this is realizing your dissatisfaction, being honest with yourself and looking around to see what doesn't work, who doesn't work. And emotionally, if not physically yet, because of this outside control of that which shall not be named, I won't even give it air. Emotionally, you've gotten yourself ready, or you're starting to get yourself ready emotionally to detach, to separate, to emotionally let go of that doesn't serve you, those that don't serve you. So by doing so, even if you can't physically, because of these outside control systems that are happening right now, even if you can't physically move away, then you very definitely can emotionally detach, emotionally let go of that doesn't serve you. So it is a positive reading. It sounds really heavy. It sounds like I'm getting at you if this resonates with you. But if this does resonate with you, then you asked me to get at you. You manifested some advice that would give you a kick up the arse to say, what are you doing? Why are you doing? Or why are you not doing? So take it as you will. You can either take it on the chin, roll with it, and do what you're asking yourself to do, what your higher self, your true self is asking you to do. Or you can completely ignore everything I said and carry on, regardless. It's completely up to you. On the bottom of the deck, so underpinning the reading for the day of the 24th, is it? 24th of the 4th, is the 5 of Pentacles. So this does speak to, often it speaks to physical travel. That's very restricted right now. Controversially restricted, but restricted nevertheless. But it also speaks to cutting things out. Blocking people, blocking things that aren't right for you. It speaks a little bit to loneliness, and sometimes you can seemingly be in the best position, have the best home, the best job, the best looking family, and you can be surrounded by so many people but still feel alone. Or you can be isolated. You can be isolated with yourself, and you feel alone because you haven't taken the time to be brave enough to get to know yourself. to get to love yourself. See, when you do that, you're never ever going to feel alone again, because there's always something that is there to be dug into with self. We're a playground inside, and if we use ourselves as a playground, if we dig and look and, you know, not bury, but, you know, let things grow and use our imagination, we are a playground. But it seems like if this reading resonates with you, you haven't been having fun with self, and therefore with others around you, for a very long time, for too long. So it does speak to this loneliness. It does speak to feeling cut out. It might be that you're on the end of this reading that, you know, was so fearful of the future and just wanted things to go back to normal and not know any truths. That might be you, and it might feel that, you know, this person who has maybe taken advice of this reading, you're feeling cut out, you're feeling that detachment where they're moving away in this Eight of Cups. Go with it, flow with it, because there's a better future, a better day for you to manifest, and it's all up to you. You are completely capable, you are completely worth it, you are enough to do and be and say whoever you want to do and be and say. So I love you all very, very much. You can always book me for a private tarot reading by contacting me with any of the details above or below this video, depending on where you're watching it. Please like, share and subscribe. I also do energy workout sessions where I help you recognize the energy flow within, get rid of any blocks, any energetic, any emotional blocks, let that energy flow through beautifully, and help you practice taking in the ribbons of energy that are around you all of the time, to empower you, to focus you, to give you that drive, that fuel. It's that extra fuel that is yours to take in and often isn't recognized enough. So you can do that as well with any of the contact details above or below, or you can message me on Facebook Messenger at TrueDivine44. Love you very much. Be balanced, be whole as always. Mwah.